of the alcohol. La 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 la. Just line 'em up and we will drink them all. La 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 la. But my mother always said, if you want to drink all day, you best start in the morning, son, 'cause that's the Irish way. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, and every other mother will agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, so order up around for you and me. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, and every mother must agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, so order up around for you and me, and you and me, and you and me. Let there be whiskey.
Hey, got it. Once again, Notes with Alcohol. I'm Russ.
And I'm Chris, and you once again blew out your mic.
They blew out my mic. Damn, I was trying not to. This is episode 425, guys, back in the virtual nerd basement. Welcome once again. 425. Not a massive, like milestone, but a milestone nonetheless.
Yes.
You know. So,
well, and this is also the second episode of our new format, which is no more audio only podcast.
You mean no more? Yeah, no more audio only podcast. We are only doing the video stuff. An old friend of the show, Chris Ottolini, has been listening for a long time. He actually texted me personally, and he was like, "Hey, how come I haven't seen any new shows on Spotify or on whatever?" And I said, "Well, honestly, we had to take a long break because of work schedule stuff." But I said, "But we should have them." But it was like Wednesday of last week, right after we did a show. Yeah. So, well, but they should be back.
Yeah, and I understand that, CD, and it wasn't an easy decision for me. But I was doing the numbers, and over the last probably year, we've maybe had at top end 100 downloads in a month. And I just couldn't justify the cost.
Mm-hmm. So,
because especially with it going up, so
right, and that's the thing. You can still, we're still on YouTube, we're still on Spotify.
We're not on Spotify anymore.
We're not on Spotify.
No, that's audio only.
Oh, it was audio only.
Yeah,
all
of our old ones are still up there right now because I haven't actually canceled it. I just haven't put any new ones out because I know I'm going to be canceling at the end of the month. So
right. So, but you were saying you were going to get back on posting more regularly on the YouTube, right?
Yes, I last week's episode is up on YouTube, even though I didn't release it as an audio only. So, so that's what I'll be doing. It took me a couple of extra days because I was having some problems getting the editing program to work on my computer. I think I got to upload a new or delete the old version because it's like from 2023 and there's a 2025 version out. I think I need to do that, and hopefully it'll run better. It just takes forever, and it locks up a lot. So.
So anyway, yeah, we are still, we're still
around.
Do the
show. Yep, still going to do the show. Still going to be on Twitch. Twitch will have it for 2 weeks. You can replay it for 2 weeks on Twitch, and it will be up. My plan is to get it up on YouTube within 3 or 4 days. So hopefully by the weekend, I will have it up. I don't know that I'll have it up by Thursday, which is what I was doing before. I can't put it up before Thursday because per the Twitch agreement, technically, I believe Twitch as an affiliate, Twitch owns it for the first 24 hours. So,
All right. Well, either way, we are welcome again, guys. It is, it's once again good to be back. It is the Merry Christmas Eve for those of you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
No matter what you celebrate.
Yes, exactly. It can be Yule. Yule was last night, or
Yule was Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, yep. The solstice.
Yep.
I keep. It's funny because I keep. My days are all thrown off. They're all cattywampus right now because I'm like, I spent a lot of time this weekend performing. It was Krampus and Grand Rapids on Friday, and then Holly Dazzle at Michigan vending for my friends on Saturday. No, it was Krampus again on Saturday, and at Canterbury. Then vended on Sunday night at Hollydazzle, and then last night, Monday night, I was Krampus for my last time, and it was fun. It was a good night. But and not quite as chilly as some of the or other nights, but it's thrown off everything, because normally I was just doing the Krampus
Dude,
thing on Fridays, and
tonight you'd probably be sweating your ass off in that outfit.
no, it would be comfortable at the very least. My hands wouldn't be bad. The worst part about it was my hands because the gloves I was wearing were very, very thin, even with 2 layers of gloves, because I had 2 layers, and then I'm wearing these claws over the gloves like this because the gloves were there was tight enough with the gloves on that I could wear these and they wouldn't fall off. Right now they just slip right off. But it was really made for one set of gloves. I put the second set of gloves, whatever, and then it almost became too tight. And so it was squeezing my finger on top of making my fingers numb. I was just like, ugh. I bought a propane heater. It's a really nice one, actually. It's like a nice
propane and propane accessory.
It's also an indoor one, so like if I really want to run it, it's safe for indoors. But this thing throws off a decent amount of little heat, and I would just like put it by my feet.
I don't know that I'd do propane inside.
It's rated for indoors.
Yeah, I know.
But I just put my fingers like over the top, just warm my fingers enough. I'm like, oh God, thank God I can feel them again. So yeah, that was the toughest part right there.
Rated to explode.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny because we definitely need. They loved Krampus, like I said, it just threw my whole week off. I looked at the day. I did some last minute Christmas shopping today, and I was like, okay, I got time. And then I went, wait a minute, it's Tuesday. Shit, it's like 5 o'clock. Fuck, I got the show tonight. I was like, so I had to like kind of hurry up and finish a few things before. I mean, 3 hours you'd think, but waiting in line for half an hour and then waiting in line for another half an hour and then driving to this place and driving to that place. I'm like, fuck, it completely eats up your day. But that's done and Krampus is done and I have one more day that I'm going to help vend. That's the day after. That's this coming Friday, the day after Christmas at Hollydazzle, and then I'm kind of done because I've been doing so much of this side gigging and stuff. I really do feel like I haven't had that post Thanksgiving decompression yet.
Yeah.
I haven't had the opportunity to really like. I've had a couple of days there where I've been able to like, just kind of chill, but not really. Not to the point that I'm like, oh my God. So January is going to be my opportunity to just kind of chill. I've got a few things that I need to definitely this house needs to be picked up and everything else, but I'm looking forward to just chilling.
Yeah, I'm currently chilling. I'm off until the 5th.
Yeah, so you're day drinking, so that's
yeah. I was day drinking today. If you want to call it that. I mean, it was Carling's Black Label. It's not exactly a potent beer, but yeah, Renee and I went out for lunch today. Took a little break. She's still working, but she took a little break from lunch. We went over to Ale and Eddie's, and I had a beer. Good food.
Right on.
I'm noticing now that I've been eating healthier. I'm not eating as much deep fried foods. I'm starting to eat healthier. And one of the things that I've noticed is I taste salt a lot more now. It's a lot more prominent when it's something like really salty. Like today, I had one of the pizzas they have over there that I really like. It's called Save the Last Ranch, and it's chicken, bacon, and instead of marinara, they put on, or instead of pizza sauce, they put on Cajun ranch. And I really like that pizza a lot. But today I was eating it and I'm like, wow, this is really fucking salty. Because the Cajun spices have a lot of salt in them. But I'm like, I haven't noticed that in the past. It's like, I'm like, wow, I can really taste the salt. And like, I had something, I forget what it was. I had something over the weekend and I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking salty. It's crazy.
That's interesting. that that is what is happening to your
Mm-hmm.
palate, you know?
Well, I also
Cool.
don't use a lot of salt at home. I don't salt things very much.
Mm-hmm.
I use pepper a lot, but I don't use salt.
So I'm a little more of a salt guy.
Oh, and then so over the weekend we had for the Sunday night curling, we did our holiday potluck. And I got to talk to one of the guys there. He brought in probably the best deviled eggs I've ever had. They were out frickin' standing. I'm like, he only brought in like a little plate of them. I'm like, and me and my buddy AJ, I had one and went, oh, damn, those are good. And he's like, oh, I'll have to try one. He tried one. He's like, oh, shit. He looks down. He's like, there are not enough here. He's like, we could finish this off long before they get off the ice. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I could eat that whole thing by myself. I'm like, there were only like maybe 12 halves on there. So like half a dozen eggs made, but they were so good. I think he put like little chopped up pickle pieces in it. And there was a little bit of cayenne. It was so good.
Well, that's great, man. Nice. Sounds good. Um, I've got a couple of things to talk. I wanted to talk a little bit more about some of the stuff that I had on Krampus when playing Krampus. But first, what are you drinking?
I am drinking something I actually just saw at the store today. So right across the parking lot from Alan Eddie's is a party store that I go to quite a bit. One, because it's close to home, and two, they have a really good selection. And one of the things that they have a really good selection of is ciders. And this is one right here.
You've been doing a lot of the cider thing lately.
It's not as filling as beer.
Right.
Dude, I drink beer now and I get full. So this, yeah, I know I'm stealing your shtick.
It's my thing, yeah.
But anyway, it's this golden color. It's not perfectly clear. But it is Cider Boys.
I love Cider Boys.
Imperial strawberry.
Oh, I've had that. I think
You've had the Imperial. This is the 8% strawberry.
Okay, no, I haven't had that. I've had the
You've had the regular strawberry magic.
Yeah,
that one's really good. This one is an 8% strawberry cider. What's it? Apple wine with natural flavors. Cider Boy Cidery balances delicious apples and sweet strawberries with a little something extra. I'm gonna go ahead and give it another little sip here. I'll tell you what, when I poured it into the glass, I could smell the strawberries.
Oh yeah. That is one of the things about the Cider Boys. Is it's very much like that.
But the aroma is all apple. Right now. That's all I'm getting is. There's maybe a hint of strawberry, but it's mostly apple. So I'm gonna take a little sip here. It's actually pretty good. The strawberry, it's not overpowering strawberry. There's the underlying of strawberry, and it almost comes through like a Macintosh or like one of those like sweet and tart apples type of thing, like a Honey Crisp or something like that. It's actually really good. And you get a little strawberry on the back end, but it's not overpowering. It is sweet, but I'm not going to say it's not cloyingly sweet. This is really good. I like this a lot. I'll give this 4 out of 5.
Right on. Cool. That's cool. I love a strawberry cider. I'm a big fan of anything strawberry. 1, 2, the Cider Boys, cidery or whatever, they're really great.
Yeah.
I love pretty much anything that they do. Really good stuff. Cool. Fucking cool, man. That's great. I am drinking. This is from let's see, Beacon Skiff Apple Orchards 1911.
Oh, yeah, the Honeycrisp. I had that.
Mm-hmm.
I had that just a few weeks ago.
The Honeycrisp ready? Are the Honeycrisp ready yet? Honeycrisp Premium Small Batch Hard Cider. Yes, 16 ouncer. It's a 6.9, so no fucking around. It's just a really solid cider, man. It's sweet, definitely sweet.
My backup is a
Very
1911 black cherry.
Black cherry. See, I would generally avoid something, the black cherry. I'm not the biggest cherry guy.
See, I love their black cherry. I think it's so good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I'd be like, oh, I don't hate it, but I'm like, I don't love it either. I was just trying to pay a parking ticket, but it's past the time. I got it on the 9th, and
There's a warrant out for your arrest now.
yeah, pretty much no. So it is a single parking ticket in front of my house. So I parked, unfortunately, on the day, but I can't. If you pay it late, you can't. You're supposed to pay it within 3 days. It's only 15, otherwise it's 35. But I forgot, so I can't pay it online. I have to go in and pay it. Well, to pay it on Monday because the place ain't open. But anyway, how do you like in what is it? Blah, sorry, my brain farted. Anyways, really solid cider. It's not fancy. It's not, like, wow, the strawberry notes, and it is a really good, just sweet Honeycrisp apple cider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that one. That was good.
It's really nice. It's just, that's the thing about ciders, particularly, the ones that are just an apple cider and they're not, pineapple or like, like Rainbow Seeker from Blake's or the Imperial Strawberry from Cider Boys or one of the more cinnamon ones or whatever. If it's just an apple cider, it's just a fucking apple cider. But so you're reviewing something that's just kind of this clean, crisp flavor. And sometimes there's not much to it other than I like it or I don't, you know.
Yeah, 1911 does a good, speaking of cinnamon, they do a good cinnamon donut cider as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I've got for next week, I've got one of the J.K. Scrumpy's variations, and it's just fucking fantastic. But love that one. Love those ones. So that'll be next week. But anyway, so that's it. So Cider Boys Imperial Strawberry for you and the 1911 Honeycrisp for me. Pretty good stuff.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsors, yeah. So moving on. So I had, like I said, Friday I played Krampus at the Christmas market in Grand Rapids. Beautiful Grand Rapids, Michigan.
I'll be there on the 5th. That's why I gotta go out there. My first day back, I gotta drive out to Grand Rapids.
It's not too bad. It's like a 2.5-hour drive. So it's not horrible.
It's getting back that's a bitch.
It is, particularly because 696 is shut down going that way. So you got to take, Grand River, or you got to take, maybe to 8 and take 8 across or whatever. What?
Wings. You can't hide mistakes in plain cider. It's either good and clean, nail polish, or feet.
That's, yeah. Particularly in a plain PLANE cider.
Yeah.
Though I did make kombucha once. Ooh, kombucha. Yeah. Anyway, this Christmas market was cute. It was this good sized, kind of market, and they had all these wood like pavilion, little wood like huts basically, where the vendors would sell their wares. There was a lot of food. There was a lot of Wiener Schnitzel, and a lot of there was potato pancakes, and there was pierogi, and there was lots of German food. There was these hot German these sandwiches. It was the hot cheese that they scrape off as a cheese, and it's just under the hot lights. And they scrape the cheese off onto the bread, and then you have the bread and you eat it, and it's lovely. But Wingsuit, I've been day drinking. English is stupid. So anyway, it was fun. It was this fun thing, but man, I was kind of impressed as to how much food there really was. There was also chocolate and fudge and this and the other thing, and it was a lot of Glühwein. Just people just drinking Glühwein out of these little cups that look like boots, and we were drinking the Glühwein. For those of you guys who don't know what Glühwein is, it is a warmed spiced wine that is particularly beloved in Germany. And it is nice. It's very nice. I would say it's comparable to, like, if you want a spiced wine, a spiced red wine, you're looking like Witch's Brew is a decent store-bought one. I had some of that last night. Actually, Stella had a bottle and we cracked it open, and it's a nice, seasonal kind of wine. Comes out. It used to only come out around Halloween, but now they're bottling it year round.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, but I walked around as Krampus and did the German accent, and it's a very stereotypical kind of silly German accent. But I got one of the best compliments an actor can get that is doing an accent, is that somebody, it's at least 3 times, somebody walked up to me and just started speaking German. And I'm like, and of course I have this look at my, like, in the makeup, and you're like, oh shit. And a couple of times a couple of them were American, like one was an American that spoke German. And then there were at least 2 or 3 people that were Germans that came up to me and started speaking German. And I'm just like, nein, nein sprechen Sie Deutsch. And they're like, oh. And this little old lady, actually, like, her barely spoke English. And her, she just kind of looked at me as Krampus, and her grandson was translating. And he spoke German extremely well. But it was really funny because, like I said, and when she looked at me when she realized that I couldn't speak German, and then walked off. It was like, hey, that's the best compliment I could ever get, But yeah, I mean, people got a big kick out of him, and it was a lot of fun. And it was funny because I walked up on this Irish couple, and they're like, oh, well, we're from Ireland. We're not here. We're not we're visiting our son here or come all the way from Ireland. And I was like, all the way, oh, you came all the way to Grand Rapids for Christmas. That's very nice for you to do this. And I go, Krampus does not have a strong, very strong, they're slipping into Russian a little bit there. You have to be careful. You got to do that. Be careful. Krampus does not have a very strong a presence in Ireland, but when I go, I try to make sure that I sound like I'm a local. And they lost their shit. They lost their shit. They started this layer like, oh, you sound great. That was, I haven't heard that. Yeah, that was funny. And I'm like, well, and I said to them, I go, well, the best thing you've got to do is you have to make sure you don't sound like a leprechaun. They lost their shit again. I took a risk, man. I took a risk on that joke. I was like, and it was so cool. I was glad to make them laugh. So that was fun. But it was a good time. And then playing Krampus at Canterbury has been extremely successful. It was kind of a test on Fridays to see, oh, well, maybe see if we can sell some more tickets for Fridays if we say Krampus is going to be here. And it was a huge success. And that's why I did Krampus on Saturday and Monday too, because tonight actually is the last night of the stroll at Canterbury. But they want to expand him next year. They want to get maybe another actor in the back section, because we have a lot of space in the back there just for me and the one dark elf. So I'm thinking Grelka, the Christmas witch, and we can and then tweak the costume a little bit more and build the costume up a bit for a second person to that can play it as well as me, and so that I'm not there every cold night that they do it. And but yeah, and they want to do a Krampus feast as well. So
nice.
A big dinner with Krampus.
They need to also have somebody going around as the ghost of Christmas present with.
Yeah. Oh, the bitch hit me with the toaster. That is one of the greatest lines in any holiday movie.
And one of the best delivered lines.
Oh yeah.
Because he's just
bitch
hit
me with a toaster.
Yeah.
I love Scrooge. Scrooge is one of my favorites.
Yep. I will be watching that tomorrow. That's that one and Die Hard are 2 that I watch every Christmas Eve.
Yeah. I've been meaning to add Scrooge to my actual physical collection. I don't have it.
I have it.
Do you?
Yep.
I gotta get it. So that was fun. And yeah. So I am looking forward to, though, just fucking like chilling. I gotta not leaving the house, getting pizza, going, just playing video games. I did finish my second playthrough of Baldur's Gate finally, just the other day, and it was very cool because I also got the the better endings, because the first time I played it through, they've since tweaked the epilogue, and so I got to see the newer epilogue, and the funny thing is though, I because I was using the polyamory mod,
Uh-huh.
it kind of fucks it up a little bit. Like you've got, depending on who you're romancing at the end, because you don't tend to it's hard work to like romance everybody, and but I was romancing like 4 or 5 of the characters at the end. So at the end, I have Minthara telling me, "Darling, let's go home. We don't need to be here anymore." And I also have Shadowheart going, "I'm ready to leave whenever you are." And and um, even though Will went into Avernus with Karlak in my playthrough, he's also there and wakes up with me at one point. I'm like, this is weird, but it was still cool. I had a great time.
Yeah,
playing it.
my only playthrough where I finished it, I actually finished with I actually
And Lae'zel.
I went into the Hells with Shadowheart and Karlak.
Oh, you did the 3-way.
Yeah, and then
Right.
we went looking for Will. Because he had already
We
left.
went looking for him.
Yeah.
Okay, because I played it through that Will went in with Karlak. And it was also when I also released Orpheus, and he became the
Mind Flayer.
the Mind Flayer,
Yeah.
and then we had to go up against the Emperor.
Yep.
But
yeah, that's what I did too. But I snuck past them all because I couldn't. The dragon was just taking me out left and right. So.
Yeah, the dragon was tough, but you probably weren't playing with the mod that allowed you to have like 10 people with you.
No,
like I said,
my one playthrough was just the standard 4-person.
Yeah, and I was like I said, I've been playing it, and I was a lot of the fights I was kind of even by making like
I was playing
my
at normal
opponents.
CD.
Yeah, even by making it with my opponents stronger, I gave them higher hit points. I think I'll give all the opponents 40% more hit points. I was still like wading through a lot of the fights because I got 10, 11 fucking guys that are,
Action economy.
Huh?
Action economy.
Right. So I got, they're doing a lot, but because I couldn't get them, there isn't a mod to increase the number of opponents. There's just the mod where you can give them higher hit points, you can give them more bonus actions and reactions, which I didn't do. But it was still like, man, there were a couple of these fights, particularly near the end, where I'm like, how did I beat this with only 4 players 4 characters last time? This is hard, particularly the last fight. The last fight, I think it took against the Elder Brain. I think it took 3 reloads.
See, once I was able to get past the Emperor and the Dragon and get into fighting the, I didn't even get everybody in, and I had killed the Elder.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Part of it is
yeah,
that Astarion was just doing ridiculous amounts of damage. Like
he does.
He was doing, and if he crits, it's even more.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just had him as a standard rogue too.
I had him as a rogue Gloomstalker, and
he had as the assassin,
and he had dual hand crossbows.
And
he went in and was like thwack 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 thwack, and did like 60 points of damage right off the bat. Bam.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think maybe I'll put him as a Gloomstalker next time. But it was such a great game. I look forward to eventually playing it again, but I'm going to take a break because I put 230 hours into that game, that playthrough. And so I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to do some other games. I've got I just loaded up Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song, which was a Vampire the Masquerade game that came out like 2 or 3 years ago, and it has gotten some bad reviews too. Like they called it Euro, not Euro trash, but Euro something. It was basically the story is cool and the and everything like that's cool. The gameplay is a little slow because it's more of a story driven game. It's not an
Mm.
action game. And the facial animations are not great. So, but I kind of wanted to play because it's been sitting on my shelf for a while. It was like a $30 game. But it strikes me as like kind of a more like a you know go around here, find this thing, flip this switch, flip that switch, do the it's more of a walk around, find the clues kind of thing. The combat is next to, there's no like real combat. It's not an
Mm.
RPG. And you're playing three separate characters, you're playing a Ventura Toreador and a Malkavian at three different times. And takes place in Boston. And but I was like, hey man, if it's Vampire the Masquerade, I'll probably give it a shot. And I did pick up Bloodlines 2 on sale. A friend of mine was working at a GameStop, and he bought it for me through his discount, and so I got it for sale on sale. Have heard it was very lackluster, unfortunately, but I'm still
I
interested.
Yeah, I was
Give it
gonna
a shot.
say I got to get back to that one. I got it for the PC,
Hmm.
and I was going to. I should give it more of a chance. I played through basically what's the tutorial, and it
Hmm.
did not grab me at all. I thought it was
Right.
dull. It was kind of boring.
Hmm.
Just I just wasn't. It wasn't grabbing me. I got to get back to that, and I got to get back to Dispatch. I've only played the first episode of Dispatch. That one I
Oh,
still want
definitely.
to play, but it's one of those I want to play it. I really enjoyed playing it online, and I think it's like streaming it because
Hmm.
I think it's a good game. The way that the episodes are set up, it's a good way to go. All right, I'm going to play this episode and play it through, and once you finish the episode, and go, okay, I'm done for
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
I think that's
No,
kind of cool.
absolutely. It's a great episodic kind of thing. Um,
Only what, 8 episodes?
8 episodes, yeah. But you get about an hour's gameplay, um, each time. And like I said, it's got a decent amount of replayability too. You can play it two, three times at least, and then
Yeah.
but it was tearing out the charts. They sold 2 million copies in like a week. It got nominated for a couple things. I think it's won a couple of game awards now. It's doing pretty well.
Yep.
So, um,
CD, Karlak in my playthrough, going Path of the Giant as a Throwbarian, um, Karlak does so ridiculous amounts of damage that, especially if she's up high, it's crazy the amounts of damage she does.
yeah, dude, totally. I had her as a Path of the Giant or whatever it was, and
Hmm.
so yeah, you rage, she gets even bigger. I mean, yeah, she was doing horrible amounts of damage. Like, wow, like goddamn.
Well, and
And
if you build her as a throwing character, she can just do, and she gets, you give her Tavern Brawler, so she gets double strength bonus on thrown weapons, and give her the what you call it, the potion of hill or cloud giant strength. And
hmm I was definitely using the potions of Hill and Cloud Giant Strength on several of my fighter types on her, on Lae'zel, on Minthara. Um,
I've never gotten
you know,
Minthara in the party.
she's cool. She's fun because she's definitely neutral evil, and some of the shit that she says is some of the funniest. Like, just mean, mean girl type of shit. But she's fun, and she's like at the end of the game, she's like she's encouraging you to use the Nether Crown to the Crown of Karsus to like take over the world.
Oh
She's
yeah.
like, oh yeah, no, let's do it. Let's take over. And if you don't, she's like, well, I suppose, we can settle for just Baldur's Gate, and take over the old-fashioned way, basically by politically. And but yeah, she's great. And it's basically you have to knock her out in the initial fight in the
Gale is cray. Gale is not a nice guy. I don't like Gale.
Gale, particularly at
He's
the
kind of a toxic individual.
yeah. Well, Gale, particularly at the end, gets really obsessed when he finds out. what he's really carrying, what he's got inside him, and that the fact that it is something that could lead him into godhood, that's when he's like, he starts getting obsessive. And so, yeah, in my final playthrough, he goes, even though the crown of Karsus goes into the water, he goes after it, reforms it, and becomes the god of ambition. And you're like, he shows up like silvery, glowing, silvery like skin, and he's kind of arrogant, and he's the god of ambition. And you're like, all right. And so what do you give your followers, if they've got ambition? It's just it was an interesting thing. I wasn't, because it wasn't romancing Gale at the end.
Even Wing says Gale is a toxic douche.
He is kind of, yeah, he is
He's
a little bit. I mean, I like him.
If you listen to if you romance him as a female character specifically, if you kind of start down the romance path with him, I stopped because I'm like, no, I'm not giving into your toxic bullshit, because he tries to be really manipulative.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope, fuck you, we're done.
There's a reason why Mr. tossed you out to the curb there, buddy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
BG3 soap opera. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But but yeah, loving it. And I think, yeah, you should totally get back into Dispatch, man. I'd love to give that one play that through again. It was a lot of fun. So,
well, speaking of video games, and awards, Expedition 33 was stripped of its 2 indie game awards.
The awards.
The debut game and the Game of the Year award.
Yeah, it won 9 awards. And I think they stripped him of 2 of them at the IGA or whatever.
Well, this was the Indie Game Awards.
The Indie Games, that's right.
This was the Indie Games.
So they didn't strip them from the IGA Awards or whatever it is. Yeah.
Right. So this was just the Indie Games, and it was because of their use of generative AI.
Okay.
Now,
so what does that mean
exactly?
Generative AI, that means it is...
They used AI to generate certain things. Certain textures or certain graphics, things like that.
Right.
And there's a lot it's a huge topic in all of the art spaces right now on what it is, but it's really huge in the video game world because it's being used so much, because it can be used in coding. AI can be a great tool, I think, but I don't think it should replace actual artists and things like that.
Yeah. I actually got into a bit of an argument with Stella about this last week.
So they did patch it out. They used it for some textures that were in there, and they patched it out within 5 days of it releasing. It was basically, they said it slipped through. We had it. We had it set it up placeholder. We had it as a placeholder. We had it set up to replace it, and it just slipped through.
Mm-hmm.
With real art, not generative stuff. So, but the Indie Game Awards went, no, still not gonna, because you released it with generative AI stuff. We're not gonna do it. We're stripping you of your awards. You can't win them. And I think this is a topic that's huge right now in the world in general. One, AI, while I think it's a cool tool that can be used for certain things, I am not sold that it's something that is worth what the cost is.
Agreed.
And part of that is the environmental cost.
Oh yeah.
The amount of heat that's generated, the amount of waste that's generated, and things like that from just having to run these servers that are, because let's face it, AI is just a bunch of fucking computer parts.
Right.
Okay, yeah, Wings, that's a great AI being used to ID breast cancer is a great use of AI. And I'm all for that. But there is, with what they're using it for, like Gemini and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's got huge environmental impact, as well as some ethical impacts when it comes to where does it get these images? It basically scours the internet for images and pieces them together. Now, doing certain things, creating a quick character sketch of your D&D character. I don't have a problem with that. That kind of thing. I don't have a problem with that, with personal use of AI. Now, but the thing is that there's also, even in the 3D printing community right now, there's a bunch of people that are going out using AI to create models and then sell them. And I don't think that's right.
No, it's horse shit is what it is. Okay. Speaking as an artist, and as somebody that has been an artist particularly through some pretty crazy technological advances, like in the early 90s when computer art started becoming a thing and becoming starting to freak out artists that they're like painters and pencil artists and color pencil artists and stuff that saw this digital art growing, and they're like, oh, that's terrible, that's awful, you shouldn't use that, that's that's cheating and whatnot. And I at first I was a little like, because I was also a painter and a practical artist, and I was like, at first I saw that and I was like, yeah, this stuff is, I mean, and it was pretty rough. That the early computer art was pretty rough, but um, at first I was kind of like, no, man, it's doing half the work for you, whatever, it's terrible. But then I got more into it and I learned a little bit about it, and I saw that like Photoshop is ultimately a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need, if you're going to use Photoshop to draw, paint, those various different things, you still need to have the skill set. You still need to be able to draw. You still need to be able to, paint to some
I can't
extent.
just grab my tablet and draw something out to make it look like something that you would do. I
Right.
can't do that. I don't have that skill set. Now, I can
Right.
develop some of those skills. May never get to the point, where I'm good enough to where I could, put my art out anywhere, but
Right.
that's something I want to do. Actually, I want to learn how to draw.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You still have to have the skill set. You still need to know how to draw something, how to airbrush something, how to paint something, all those kinds of things. The tools, the Photoshop, the drawing tools, the painting tools that are on these computers are ultimately a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It speeds things up. And now there is art that has been made on computers that is just as good as any paint, a truly traditionally painted artwork. Some really amazing stuff. And I have definitely changed my tune when it comes to the use of that tool. And it's no more a tool or no less of a tool than your paintbrush, than your pencils, than your color pencils. It just uses electricity and light instead of paint. And again, like I said, that being said, you not only have to know how to draw or paint, but you also need to learn that program. So that takes time too. You have to learn how to do that. And there are all kinds of tools that are also being made, drawing tablets and stuff. My Cintiq that I have is a great tool. I do have to have the battery replaced because it doesn't hold a charge anymore, but it's a great tool. That being said, Photoshop doesn't steal imagery from the internet and create images whole cloth. It doesn't reinterpret. It doesn't take it, like various images and turn it into, combine it and turn it into something else. Can you create some really interesting imagery from an AI art generator? Absolutely. ChatGPT and some of these other things that you can just punch in, I want to see what the spirit of Michigan looks like, and put in, blue and maize and coney dogs and the lions and whatever, and you'll get something that looks like, hey, this is this character, whatever. I can't tell you how many times I've seen generated AI art that's
Dolphin with tiefling
mind-blowingly
horns. Renee did that last week at D&D. Dolphin with tiefling horns.
Okay. Yeah, you can create this imagery really quick, you know. I don't like that it can be done that fast and that easily. It's too easy. And again, a lot of it tends to look very mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you put that in and you don't tell it the generator exactly like, okay, make it running, make it walking, make it whatever. It will just generate this very static kind of cold and lifeless kind of thing. And it's funny too because I was trying to explain to like my mom and some other people about the fact that, oh well, I can recognize AI art. Well, how do you recognize it? It's like you just kind of do. You know, as an artist, I know what to look for to go.
In
Oh,
a lot
yep,
of cases, I can tell too, because in a lot of cases, the best way for me to describe it is it looks fake. There is a quality to it that is just, there's something that's just off.
Right. Yeah. And I think, you know, some of it comes down to like
it's not all of it, but some of it is.
And some of it is a lot better than others, but so AI, I feel that AI should not be used in any creative endeavors. And on top of the fact that artists struggle enough. You know, we struggle to find work. We struggle to be respected. We struggle to be to have our work appreciated. We struggle so much. Please don't make our struggle harder. Please don't add things to our to make it harder for us to work and to make our living, to feed ourselves, that kind of thing. If you a tool like this, because that's the thing, people are like, oh no, it's not, you know, it's not going to be abused, blah blah blah. Bullshit. Corporations are going to figure out that they can use AI to cut out, you know, the creative part aspect, an aspect they don't have to pay, and they'll do it.
Let's face it, Russ. Artists aren't real jobs. That's not real work. I mean, that's not me actually saying that. I don't really believe that, but I mean that's one of the things. I mean,
it is in
our society, that's one of the things. All the arts are seen as not real jobs.
Correct.
That, you know, even hell, there was a thing Renee sent me, I think it was, that I shared with a bunch of my IT colleagues. It was a thing where somebody was I don't even know what this show was, but I recognized the people that were on it. But they were basically reading emails that they get sent about certain things. And one of the things was this where the IT team had to work over 4th of July holiday. And even after they were told that they would have it off. And it was a VP from outside of their department that was insisting that they work to cover it just in case anyone had any issues. And one of the things this VP said was, well, you're IT. You don't have lives.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a particularly shitty thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. IT's looked at as like we don't have lives. Artists are looked at as like they don't have real jobs. It's because people don't see it as work. That's something drawing is something you do for fun. You don't get to enjoy your work.
And that's one of those things, like, you have to remember that, okay, so the creative types,
hobby.
Writers, artists, writers, musicians, you know, all of these people are responsible for your entertainment. Take that away, and
life gets really boring.
Life gets very boring. The reason why years ago we had so many reality shows was because there was a writer's strike. A writer's strike happened, and it was for like quite a while. And because of that writer's strike, the networks were like, we don't have any writers writing new shows. Let's lean into all of these reality programs that we're doing.
Unscripted dramas.
That's why we had, for a couple of years, we had a lot of, like, you know, reality programming. And to the point where then we were glutted with it. And then people were like, they got sick and tired of it. Now, it doesn't seem to me that people get sick and tired of sitcoms and procedural dramas and things like that. Yes, they wax and wane a little bit, but they were getting to the point on some of these reality programs that they were just like they were running out of shit for these to put these people
Yeah.
through, or running out of shit where they're like,
Well, shit.
yeah, let's take a farmer and we're gonna have them find love. Okay, now it's gonna be a gay farmer, and we're gonna find them with
Well, dude,
two partners.
they just brought fucking Fear Factor back.
Right. I mean, okay, Fear Factor's been away for a while, so all right, bring it back, whatever. But there's a shit ton of those. You take away the creatives, and you don't have new shows. You don't have quality good shows.
Yeah. Wings said
And
the studio episode 4 has a great monologue about art and that it feeds the soul.
of which show?
The studio. It's
yeah.
It's a Seth
On
Rogen
Apple.
on
Yeah.
Apple.
I've heard that show's really, really great, by the way. So
it's kind of dull. It's not the way it's shot is interesting, but it's not really. I didn't think it was that great of a show.
I hear it's very realistic as to how movie studios are run and stuff like that too. The people that work them, but
Yeah, they did a
but
whole
all-
they did a
all in
whole
all,
one,
like I said,
one shot episode.
so I feel like AI is a valuable tool, and is something that we need to use, but it's also something that we need to use carefully. And it is
You're a tool.
Huh?
I said you're a tool.
I am a tool. But it is something that needs to be used very carefully. And if it's not, then it can be very dangerous. So
so I'm all for doing it for concept art, for doing it to have a placeholder. Like, okay, so we're gonna have a whole bunch of newsprint on this is one of the ones from Expedition 33. There's a pole with a whole bunch of newspaper on it, newspaper print on it.
Okay.
We'll just use AI to generate the newspaper right now. We'll get back and we'll make our own later. We just want to show that there to kind of get like background stuff set up. That then the artists come back in and go, okay, this is what they want there. All right, we build that out. All right, replace the AI with this, that type of thing. And that's what I can see it being used for. Quick and dirty, get concepts down, and then go back and go, okay, here's what we're going to do then. We're going to make this look really nice and they want mountains here. Okay, cool. And there's a stream coming through, that type of thing.
Yeah. So yeah, things like that, I mean, I even could be like so far as to be like, all right, let generative AI handle the boring bullshit. Like you need a wallpaper pattern, or you need cobblestones, or some sort of repetitive pattern that nobody wants to code, or nobody wants to draw out or whatever. All right, let AI handle the boring shit. But it should never be. It should also still be very, very carefully managed and monitored, because it can still be very dangerous.
Yes, it absolutely wings. People shouldn't sell it and claim it as their own. And that's one of the big things that's going on out right now. And I know Etsy's trying to crack down on it because there's people that are doing it on Etsy. And there's other places where people are putting out AI slop and claiming it's their own and trying to sell it.
Yes, there was. I remember I was at the medieval fair and Canterbury, and there was this guy selling a bunch of things. Like I think there were things that he had made, but some of them were things that he had made, and he had a coloring book. He's like, "Yeah, I made that coloring book," and I looked through it and I went, "You made this?" And he's like, "Yeah, I made this coloring book." I was like, "How did you make it?" And he goes, "Oh, I just made these images in AI, and I printed it out." And then he made multiple, he had it
If you want to do that for yourself,
printed.
I'm fine with it. You want to do it you want to make yourself a coloring book? That's fine. Don't try and push it off as
I immediately left. I mean, I was in character as Oliver Ogre, and I just kind of I was like, oh, and I just dropped it on the table and walked out. I was disgusted. This guy is trying to sell these
Yeah.
AI images as his own, and it was just like, dude, really? This is fucked up. So, fuck that guy, and
Well,
fuck
that's
guys
right.
that like that do that. That is some horse shit, you
Yep.
know.
Yeah. So that episode of the studio, Wings put in there that he's an artist at a doctor's gala, and they all shrug him off as not having a real job. But his argument was that in every room of the hospital there's a screen for people to watch TV.
Yep.
He's a television and movie producer, is what he actually is. But yeah, um,
Absolutely.
but every
Absolutely.
room in your hospital has a screen for people to watch TV and be
Mm-hmm.
entertained because they need that when they're recovering.
Yep. It's very important, and a lot of people don't. They forget that. They forget how important artists are because it's so casual. It's not people just they don't even think about it. You know, you turn on your television and there it is. There is something to entertain you. Well, somebody had to write that.
Yep.
Somebody had to edit it. Somebody had to film it and to act in it. And all of this shit is extremely important. There's a reason why actors get paid a lot is because they are valued, because they're famous, because people admire them. Well, you got to remember that there's a lot of other things that go into that the creation of that too. Every
Yep.
video game that you play is made up of dozens, if not hundreds, of artists that have very specialized jobs, you know, and people just they forget. So we should probably move on. We've been dwelling on this a lot. I think it's okay if if the video game industry uses some forms of generative AI, as long as it's not for
Yeah.
as
Oh,
long as
so
it's not for major
yeah,
things.
I was actually typing something in, and Wings actually mentioned it too. But he said, "Shit, how do we learn about cultures through their art?"
Mm-hmm.
And then as I was putting in, "Thank you, Admiral Thrawn," she said, "There's a reason that Thrawn studies the culture's art to learn about his enemies."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that, but that was a major thing in the books. He did
Yep.
that.
Yep. The first thing
That's
he
really
would do is he would look at their art. He even does it he does it in Ahsoka
yeah.
and in Rebels, because they brought him back in Rebels originally, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what he does is he studies the art and then he learns his
That's cool.
enemies. But
I'd
yes, we
forgotten
should.
about that, but that's
Yep.
cool.
Yep. So we should move on.
So we should. I wanted to bring it up briefly. So last Friday was the due date for the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. The
Missed.
government, huh?
Missed.
Yeah, the government not only didn't release all of the files, many of the files that they did release were redacted, heavily redacted,
Or fully redacted,
or
like
fully redacted to the entire the entire an entire pages and pages were completely blacked out. Um, that because of that, that means, well, they have broken the law. The law stated the law that was that was passed that Donald Trump signed to get the Jeffrey Epstein files out there. Basically did state that they would not be redacted in any way, shape, or form to protect anybody. And other than the victims of uh, of Jeffrey Epstein. That was the only thing that was supposed to be redacted at all, were the names of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. And yet hundreds of the pages had heavy redaction. At one point, I posted on my Facebook page that 3 different versions of something featuring Donald Trump had 3 different levels of redaction. One was left alone, one was redacted, and one was redacted even more. Um, I just needed to get this off my chest. This is one of the greatest slaps in the face to the American judicial system, to the law, that the government has ever done. They basically said, we're going to do what we want either way. There is absolutely no way that Donald Trump is not in these. In fact, he is. I mean, they released another 30,000 pieces today, and several of which were very damning to Donald Trump.
yeah,
Blatant descriptions of things that he had done by some of the victims. some really horrible stuff. In all honesty,
One of the
there was
things that
one.
Todd Blanche pointed out was like, well, you know, what difference does it make? It's not like people haven't seen pictures of Trump and Epstein before.
Well, it's a lot more. It's a
Yeah.
lot more than that. There was one little girl. It was a story told by a 13-year-old girl about how she had been forced to have sex with him several times. She got pregnant. Um, he was there for when the child that I mean, it was pretty. I don't want to go into it, but it was pretty horrible. And it's interesting because they also the first day they had no problem releasing images of Bill Clinton and Bill Gates with um with Harvey Epstein. With
Uh,
sorry,
Harvey
not Harvey
Weinstein.
Harvey
It's
Weinstein with
it's Jeffrey
with
Epstein.
Epstein, with Jeffrey Epstein. Thank you. Um, they have, but because Donald Trump doesn't like him, doesn't like them. Uh, Today they released another 30,000 pieces, largely I'd say due
Oh, and
to
here's the other thing. I haven't heard one Democrat come out screaming about how, you know, they should be defending Bill Clinton and that he didn't do anything wrong and all that. Not one person coming to his
if
defense. I've
anything,
heard.
Bill Clinton's office basically said yes to, I'm paraphrasing, but basically said, yeah, we knew him, yeah, we worked with him, we got out of there as soon as we figured out who he was. Our people or our whatever. I think that's bullshit. They probably didn't. They're covering their ass too, but at least they're not saying no, we didn't. Bill Clinton was around, you know. I don't know if they're saying he went to the island, but that's the thing. There are some people saying that people were on his plane from time to time because he had a plane. You know, he had a plane and he gave people
Yep.
rides to various places. Um, so all in all, uh, if anything, the Bill Clinton people were like, "Hey, release the files so that it exonerates me." Donald Trump, on the other hand, fought tooth and nail to make sure that those files were not being released. I think Pam Bondi is an absolute crook, and so are most of the people that work for Donald Trump because they're all covering for him.
Well,
He is.
I think the entire cabinet, the entire administration
Mm-hmm.
is there to make money, and that's it. That they
Yep.
don't give a shit about the American people. They're
Nope.
there to do a certain agenda and to make as much money as possible for them personally, for themselves,
Yep.
before they get out.
I think that is largely the case. I do think that some of them are looking to some of the younger ones are looking to make an impact, change things to better for the to be for it better for them in the future.
Oh yeah,
Hence the fact
that's your
that
Vance and things like
and
that. Yeah.
that's right, and that's why we have Project 2025 because these fucking whack jobs are like, yeah, we're definitely gonna set things up so it's better for us too later on. Donald Trump's 78 years old. If he makes it through this presidency, he'll be lucky. You know, people are like, oh, you should run again. He will be a babbling idiot by the
He's
time. I
had
mean,
three
he's already a babbling.
MRIs. He's had 3 MRIs this year.
Yeah.
They said that the first MRI is to check on something. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Second one is we found
Recheck.
something
Mm-hmm.
and we want to get a better look at it. Third one is we want to see how it's progressing.
Right. So yeah, like I said, if he is able to survive long enough to get through this current presidency, we'll be lucky. And the way he's degenerating between the plaques that he put up, the
Oh my
Trump
God.
battleships that he announced,
The Trump
all
Kennedy
of
Center.
the Trump Kennedy Center, now
That's
also
fucking ridiculous too.
the ball the ballroom
Mm-hmm.
that he is creating. Somebody was like, you don't make something like that if you're gonna leave, because that ballroom is not gonna be. It's not like it's gonna be done soon.
Right.
Um, he's like, yeah, he's making that stuff because he wants it to be a legacy.
Hmm.
But that's the other thing. A friend of mine, I saw somebody, a friend of mine posted, is like, all of the things that Trump has put his name on, in a couple of years, somebody is going to take his name off of those things.
Absolutely. The next Democrat that gets elected is going to take his name off of all of that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do feel like that the release of these Epstein files is definitely going to hurt him because there's only so much fucking like distractive dancing he can do. So, I do want to move on though. But yes, the Epstein files
Well,
are currently being released.
Yeah.
We are going to see, I feel some reaction to this where the administration is going to be called to task on the fact that they straight up broke the law by doing what they did. They basically ignored the law that Donald Trump himself signed into effect, and we'll see how that goes.
Well, and did you hear that the turtle is actually retiring?
Yes, I heard that as well. Yes, he is. I thought he made the announcement a while ago, though, that he was retiring.
But he actually is going to do it, I believe, early now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He made the announcement in February, but I believe he's made another announcement that due to health concerns, he's going to be leaving early. I haven't seen
Well,
when, and I'm trying to see, and I'm not seeing anything other than that it's going to be at the end of his term. So,
every time he fucking falls over,
or
it makes
freezes.
or freezes, it makes national fucking headlines. So I think it's probably a good idea that he shuffles
But
away.
that could be another seat that the Democrats could take
Mhm.
in Kentucky, because Kentucky's moving the other way.
Yeah, good. It needs to. So there's that. What else? Have you finished? Did you finish the Mighty Nine?
Well, I haven't finished it because the last episode hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, it has.
But no,
Yeah, it did.
oh, I thought there was a ninth episode.
No, they released it on. No, there's 8 episodes,
Okay, yes,
and
we did watch the 8th episode.
okay, yeah, they're done. It's 8 episodes.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. How are you feeling about it? I mean, it didn't. This first season didn't end the way you had predicted it was going to.
No, and it didn't end. I don't think it ended well. I don't think it ended on at a good point. I think I'm not. It's not. It's the Mighty Nine characters, but it's not the Mighty Nine. It's not the campaign, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the campaign. I didn't want.
They have made it. It does feel like to me that they made some rather substantial changes, a lot more than they did with Vox Machina.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a lot more than they did with Vox Machina. There's still some things there. The origin, they went into a lot of Caleb's origin, and they lifted. I mean, they did an entire episode of his backstory.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
They lifted a lot of that was straight up from the graphic novel, like right from the graphic novel.
And I'm fine with that, but and I understand they're changing things with Yasha. They've advanced her to another point in the story and put her at the beginning. It made it at the beginning and changed where she comes in and things. And so, I mean, that's very different. You've got the whole, like I said before, I think the whole Jester falling for Ford thing is happening way too fast. There's things like that. It's not following the storyline that I wanted. It's a different show.
Okay. Personally, I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. The Mighty Nine was not. I mean, my favorite, honestly, is still Vox Machina. I enjoyed Vox Machina before Mighty Nine, but I still enjoy Mighty Nine a great deal, and I think they're doing a decent job with what they've been doing. I think the art is beautiful. I think
the art's great. I think the art's fantastic.
The production of this show is spot on. I think there are times when the facial expressions are like so good. I mean, the artists on this one definitely pushed it a little bit more on, particularly on like the facial expressions than they did on Vox Machina. Because that's, like I said, you can tell that both Vox Machina and Mighty Nine come from the same studio, but they obviously had different art directors, you know? Like somebody ran Vox Machina and somebody ran Mighty Nine, and yeah, they're similar, but there's
But yeah,
there's
you
some
couldn't have
slight
this. You couldn't have the same people because they're making the shows at the same
making
time
them right.
now.
And but I think they are they did a really good job overall. But yeah, I did feel like there were a few things that were rushed.
I love Pumat.
Pumat, oh my God, when Pumat showed up, I was like, yes, yes, the invulnerable vagrant. I mean, I felt the same way when Gilmore showed up too.
Yeah.
You know, having these side characters show up and whatnot was really, really great. I honestly love what they're doing with Essek, bringing him in, having him of a more um a more active role earlier on in the story. I think I like that a
Well,
lot
I
more
like
because
that we're seeing the background stuff that you didn't see in the show and
right, you
in
couldn't.
in the campaign. You couldn't see that.
Right.
You didn't know what was going on with
Right.
what Trent and Essek were doing behind the scenes. You
Right.
don't find out about that till much later. I'm fine with that. Like I'm
Yeah.
fine with some of the stuff they've done. I just don't like the way that they've kind of rushed a lot of the things.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they're already getting into the whole thing with um what's his name? Why am I blanking on his name?
Caleb,
No, Lucian.
Lucian. Ah, yeah. Okay.
Not Lucian,
I
but he's
didn't care
not
for that either.
Lucian. I don't
Right.
like that they're bringing so much of the Lucian
Malimok.
stuff in. Yeah, Malimok.
Yeah.
I don't like that they're
I
bringing all the
agree.
Lucian stuff in already,
Mhm.
and that's where I'm concerned that we're not going to get the story the way it was in the campaign, where we're going to see Malimok, get killed by the what you call it, the Iron Shepherds, and stuff, and then return later. It's gonna. I think
Mhm.
we're just gonna see him become the big bad,
Mhm.
and it's gonna go from there.
I don't think we'll see him. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think we'll see him. But they will eventually have to introduce Caduceus, and I do think we are going to see the death of that character. I think I don't want to see it too loud because Stella got really into this. Like she got, and she's in the other room. She's probably not listening, but um, she got. I say, hey, come on, watch Mighty Nine with me, and she really really got into it. Like to the point the other day she said that she was like, I'm kind of thinking about actually listening to the Critical Role campaign. And I'm like, what? And I go, it's a big commitment, right? It's 3 to 5 hours every episode, right? And she went, what? I go, yeah, it's every episode is 3 to 5 hours. There was, for the current campaign, there were doing condensed versions where they were like, just the highlights of each episode. And they're like,
Take the filler out.
yeah, it takes the filler out. They're like an hour long each, but they didn't do that with. They started doing that more so with campaign 3. So, um, but she's been reading fan fiction. She had a few things spoiled, like she found out about Essek and Caleb getting together, and I was like, oh, all right, well, But I was like, you need to watch Vox Machina now because I think you'll probably like Mighty Nine better. I think Stella will like Mighty Nine better. She's like, I was like, what is it? I can't believe it took you watching this cartoon to actually get involved after all the talking I've done about it. She goes, if you told me that it had a gay German, dirty German, mage in it, I might have gotten into it a lot earlier or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And I said, so I started laughing, but
He's not gay. He's bi.
whatever. It's interesting. Like I've noticed all of Liam's characters are LGBTQ, because I mean it's not a big deal, but I just did notice. I was like, oh, that's interesting that he plays the. I mean, hell, straight up, not poor choice of words, but the two character, yeah, campaign, Voxeldon and Caleb were both bi, and Oren was gay in number 3. So it's just interesting. I don't know.
Well, and he's playing a bard in the new one, so he's he's
a bard with kids and stuff though,
yeah,
too. He's had
but
whatever.
that doesn't mean anything. He's a bard.
No, it doesn't. It was just something
like, look, I'm going to seduce that dragon.
Yeah. And anyways, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's not like I'm condemning him for it or anything. It was just something that I noticed. I was like, oh, that's interesting. He's there's a lot of gamers that don't do that. Don't play gay characters, don't want to play them. But he has played many, so it's
particularly if you're not. And I mean, I don't know if he is or not, but whatever. That's his business.
I mean, he's got a wife and children, so I mean, I don't know what his sexual preferences are, but I just found it to be an interesting thing about him. But I think overall the story and the game and the show is going very well. It's doing good things, but I do feel I wish it does feel a little rushed considering what we know about the story, But I also think, they maybe like what they're doing is hard. We've said this before, trying to condense, hundreds of hours of gameplay into a believable story. That is it's pretty incredible. Into a story that can be consumed by a bigger audience, because you got to know there's a lot of people watching these cartoons that have never watched the campaign.
But I like the little Easter eggs they throw into.
Oh yeah,
here and there. Like if you look there on one of the shelves when they go into, I think it's when they go into the Vagrant,
mm-hmm.
And they kind of scan the shelves as they're walking through. You see a book that says Scanlan something. I didn't go back and see what it was, but it's got Scanlan's name on it.
Yeah, and then you see another point where she's reading Tusk Love.
Well, yeah, but that's from the book. That's from the campaign. That actually is from that campaign.
Oh yeah, no, that was from that campaign.
Yeah, because that's the
the fact that they throw that stuff in. Did you notice? Okay. Oh, you actually haven't gotten into the third campaign. So
not at all. No, nor will I. Do I plan to?
In the third campaign, so Sam's character, Fresh Cut Grass, sacrifices himself. This is not a spoiler. This is known. Sacrifices himself largely because Sam had to leave the show for a while to go for cancer treatment, and so he Fresh Cut Grass sacrificed himself for the good of the party. When he came back as a Minotaur character. Interesting character. He was a bard. He was a paladin bard, and he was originally a paladin of the Platinum Dragon, but he had lost his faith and became a paladin of one of the demon lords. I can't remember which one. So, and he explains to Jester, because at one point he meets Jester, because Matt does bring in the other. If anything, Chris, one of the coolest parts of Campaign 3 was when Matt brings in the characters from Campaign 1 and 2 to join in and help out, right? And that was really fun. That was pretty awesome. But anyways, at one point, this character, the Minotaur character, he meets Jester, and he doesn't like her. And he's, saying mean things or whatever. And, I mean, who doesn't love Jester, right? She's great. Well, if you find out that Jester was one of the reasons why he fell from grace. That there's a point in the campaign where she and Not vandalize a temple. I believe it was a temple to the Platinum Dragon, as a tribute to the Traveler. Well, we see that in the episode, and in the episode, there's this guy comes running up with horns on his head, and he's got like a white face, and he looks more like a human with horns as opposed to a Minotaur. But that was how Breas, his name is Breas, that was how Breas was depicted. He's supposed to be a Minotaur, but he doesn't really have a cow face. He has more of a humanoid face. And he says he's like, I was there the day that you vandalized our temple, and I did this and this happened, and I got kicked out. And I was like, I think he was supposed to be one of the guards or something like that. And he was in the fucking episode. I'm like, oh my God, that's Breas right there. That was in the episode. That was in, so that was another little Easter egg for people that obviously been going.
Two of the guards are talking about the Chroma Conclave.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that too in the last episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there were like 4 dragons, man. It was I was like,
they were
oh,
the
that's pretty
Chroma
cool
something.
Too. Yeah, the Chroma group or something like that. And yeah, no, it was great. I think these are going extremely well, and I think we're going to see some pretty cool things.
I
said, would also say
I don't think it's horrible, but I don't like the way that they're doing the story.
You don't like the truncated way of doing it.
Yeah.
And I understand. And I don't blame you, but I also feel like if they're going to get everything in the 4 or 5, seasons at 8 episodes each, they're going to have to truncate things,
Well, and truncating is fine. Flat out changing things is
like,
different.
what did they change that you didn't like?
Yasha.
Okay. Fair. I didn't like the fact that Yasha came in so late. But they also
and she's already under the power of what's his nuts?
Trent.
No, it's not Trent. It's the emblem on the back of her neck. She doesn't get that till later. That was much later in the campaign. That was
who was it that was controlling her?
I don't remember who that was, but she the demon. Yeah, there was a demon.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, she was trying to get the artifact for the demon lord. That's right. I mean, I liked how that it ended with her basically short circuiting the symbol on the back of her neck and her just looking at them going, help me. But I mean, how else were they going to explain her disappearing and reappearing periodically? I mean, that was a thing at the time.
But Yasha never disappeared.
I don't think so, man. I think there were times where the Stormlord like yoinked her away or something. Wasn't there?
Nope. She was just kind of there in the background when Ashley wasn't there.
I could have swore there were times where she left. Yasha straight up left. Because there were times when, Pike had to leave.
Oh, Renee said she flat out walks away for 30 episodes.
Yeah, like I said, she was.
But that's
gone.
fine. So write her out for that storyline. But she should be there at the beginning.
She definitely should have been there at the beginning. And so I don't.
Because she was tied to Molly.
Right. So I think we'll have to see. I think I definitely think this season was a huge setup season. The first season was definitely doing their best to set a lot of stuff up. They have barely touched on anything about Knot and her story.
Other than that she's afraid of water.
She's afraid of water and she's an alcoholic.
Yep.
I
love can you make this never run out of alcohol?
Yeah, that was awesome. Or the dust of deliciousness.
Yes, I saw that come out. So
Isn't that
that's
great?
That's got to come in anyway.
It has to. One of the greatest moments of D&D, gaming ever. It has to happen. So, yeah, that was really great. Like I said, overall, I'm loving it. Seeing Bo have to be a debutante, that was funny.
Yeah,
learning more about.
Well, Ford. You don't find out about her until much later either. That's the thing. You don't find out about her family until way later on. In this one, she just grabs the wine bottle that's right there and is like, ding. Right.
Yeah, so they're definitely speeding things up, and I think they learned a couple of lessons with Mighty Nine. We have another season of Mighty Nine coming out, I believe, in January or something. I mean, it's supposed to be in first, may not be January. But it is in first quarter, and then We won't probably. I mean, if we see the second season or Vox Machina, if we see the second season of Mighty Nine in 26, I'll be kind of surprised because it's going to be.
I don't think we're going to see Mighty Nine again until 27 because it was so late this year. I think it's going to be. I think it'll be maybe first quarter of 27.
27. So yeah. Yeah. So all in all, pretty awesome. Loving it. Yeah. We should move on.
I was just going to look something up, and I don't remember what it was now. Damn. Oh, so speaking of shows on Prime, though, Renee and I started watching Reacher.
Right. Yeah. You mentioned.
And we're on season 2 now. And there was actually a scene in I think it's the first episode even. So one of the things they talk about in the show is what people use as aliases. And like Reacher uses like second string New York Yankees or something like that. And like and all this stuff. Well, there's a hotel room, and so one of the main like bad guy in this is Robert Patrick in the second season. And
Makes a good bad guy.
Yeah. In like the first or second episode, they find out that Reacher and his one friend are have a hotel room, and they're booked under these names, and the guy that found him is like, yeah, it's so and so, and he gives off some guy's name. He goes, and Sarah Connor. And Robert Patrick's like, he's like, well, such and such is the name of a second baseman for the New York Yankees from 1980 something. He like knew who he was, and he's like, well, who's Sarah Connor? And Robert Patrick's response is, I don't care. I have no idea, and I don't care. And I'm like, that's actually funny.
That's funny. You appreciate that. That's funny. So let's see. You know what? We had the Golden Globes got nominated. The nominees were released. I wanted to go over a few of them. I think it's coming up January 11th. It's going to be live streamed on CBS Paramount Plus. Before we get into this, actually, there was more news about the Netflix trying to buy Warner Brothers stuff. Netflix did pretty much is encouraging they're trying to work around the Paramount offer. Paramount's trying to do a hostile takeover basically by going to the stockholders.
Yes,
and they're saying, we'll give you 100 and some odd billion instead of the 82 billion or 83 billion that Netflix is offering. And we want the whole thing and not just the streaming or whatever to review. Netflix pretty much rejected it. They're like, we don't want this.
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers like, we don't want this.
The board was encouraging the stockholders to go with Netflix, not Paramount.
Correct. Now there's still a part of me, I think both is a bad idea, but there's still a part of me that's like, I don't know, man, Netflix, if Netflix does it, we might, it's still, there's a lot of people saying it'll spell the end of the theater. One of the
but if
high
Paramount
mucky
does
mucks,
it, we wind up with state-run news.
Right, that too. Now the guy from one of the high mucky mucks for Paramount, basically, I think he came in and was just like saying, guaranteeing like 44 billion in cash, like basically saying, we'll write you a check for sure for like this portion of it, like a third of it will be cash money. So I mean, I don't know. There's I think that's what it was, but it's getting ugly and it's going to get weird. There's going to be something else over the next, watching this happen over the next year and a half. It was just interesting. Something I was saying to the earlier today about how, was it today or yesterday? How about we were witnessing, it was last night actually. We've witnessed so many changes and through your and my lifetime about how we entertain ourselves. There's been television, to cable television, to the VCR, to the DVDs, the
The Blu-ray.
Blu-rays, the you know 8 tracks, records, cassettes, CDs, I mean, all of, MP3s. We're watching all of this, and a lot of it is tied directly to technology too. So it's just like, video games too, the consoles, how they've grown and adapted and changed, and the whole computer.
Laser disc.
Yeah, laser. Um, it's really, really kind of wild to like, and this is the next step. This is the next big thing that's going to how we're going to adjust and change the way we watch things and stuff. It's just crazy. But anyways, the Golden Globes. Generally, I like to go over the Golden Globes a little more than the Oscars because one, Golden Globes is both TV and movies, and they tend to be a little lighter. It's not
They get
as
to drink.
yeah, it's not as stuffy. The Oscars tend to be a little more stuffy, and I've never liked that.
They don't get two drink tickets. They can just buy as many as they want.
As many as they want. So real quick, best motion picture drama. I've only seen one of these movies, and that was Frankenstein, the new Frankenstein.
Excellent
The rest
film.
is
Excellent.
oh, so good, excellent, very well done. All around, no notes. For the most part, it was great. Hamnet is also another one. We
Heard of
also
it.
have it was. I haven't seen it, but I've heard really good things. It was Just an Accident is another one. We have Sentimental Value, Sinners, and The Secret Agent. Now,
Sinners is on my list.
It is. I actually purchased it because I'm like a vampire movie and everything, and I've heard really good things about the fact that it shifts gears similar to like From Dusk Till Dawn. It starts off as this like criminal movie and this movie about a couple of twin brothers that are criminals, and then shifts dramatically into a vampire movie. So I've been meaning to sit down and watch it. Purchased it because I've just heard it was so amazing.
Yeah,
Plus,
CD
Michael,
said he didn't think it was that great.
plus Michael B. Jordan is
He's great.
Pretty great. Let's see. So that looking pretty cool. I've heard that Hamnet is pretty good. I guess it's more or less about Shakespeare writing Hamlet. So, see, best motion picture, musical, or comedy. We have Blue Moon. We have Begonia, Marty Supreme, No Other Choice, Nouvelle Vague, and One Battle After Another. Some of these I really wouldn't necessarily see as comedies per se. I mean, I heard One Battle After Another, which is the one movie with Leo DiCaprio, has some funny moments, but it's not really a comedy. And same thing with Begonia. Begonia is supposed to be a pretty dark comedy. Marty Supreme again.
So just talking about things like that. So like Caught Stealing, which looked like it was kind of a comedy, was not. No, Renee and I watched it, and it was nothing like what I was expecting. It was not a comedy. It actually wasn't that great.
Okay.
It was kind of flat.
Interesting. Yeah, things are very, the opinions, and I mean, how I think some movies get shoehorned into some of these categories just to make sure that they get some kind of acknowledgement. I think that's what we're seeing with some of these films.
And One Battle After Another, I do want to see.
Yeah. I heard it's really fucking good. Nouvelle Vague was another one that was on Netflix. I don't know anything about that one. Marty Supreme is the new one with Timothy Chalamet playing a table tennis competitor in the 50s, and he meets like he meets a movie star, and they start having a romance, and it's Gwyneth Paltrow plays the movie star. So interestingly, we have best motion picture. Interestingly enough, no straight up Disney film as best motion picture this time. There is a Pixar film, Zootopia 2, but none of the other regular Disney movies. I mean, I guess Pixar 2 Pixar is Disney now. So oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Back that up. 2 Pixar films. Elio and Zootopia 2 both got nominated. I heard Elio was just cute as hell, really good. Did terrible at the box office.
I don't even remember hearing about that.
Yeah, it's about this little boy he's got like a patch on his eye, and he's just kind of a weird kid. And he gets he's one of those kids that probably would have gotten bullied in the 80s when we were kids. And he gets kidnapped and taken off into space. Like and then makes friends with other aliens and other alien kids, and it looks super cute. And I saw some really great reviews about it, but it just didn't resonate well. And it's one of those examples of like new original content is really struggling right now. It's really hard to get new original content because everybody wants either remakes, live action versions, or they want identifiable IP. Well, how do you get identifiable IP if you don't give these new things a chance, you know? I heard Zootopia 2 is awesome. It's one of those great sequels. Like, you know, really builds on the previous movie. I thought Zootopia 1 was really great. Um, and just a really, really fun film. We have also Little Emily or The Character of Rain. We have K-pop Demon Hunters, of course. And Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Infinity Castle, and then also Arco. So some of them are very much like either Korean or Japanese. I think Little Amelie or The Character of Rain might be French. So I haven't watched K-pop Demon Hunters. It is on my list to watch it. I've heard it's great. Particularly, if you like K-pop, you're gonna really like it. But I'm not the big a fan
he
of
said
K-pop.
he recommends K-pop Demon Hunter.
Yeah, I heard it's good. I heard it's really, really good.
It's not on my list.
I'm going to skip over the best motion picture non-English language.
Yeah.
Although it was just an accident, was nominated as best motion picture non-English and as best motion picture drama. So that's kind of cool that it got nominated in both. As did Sentimental Value, also from Norway. So that's interesting. And The Secret Agent from Brazil. So we're seeing the Golden Globes are definitely expanding because it is the foreign press that is supposed to do this, It's definitely expanding beyond American films. There's something we talked about is that more and more films are being recognized as, blockbuster films from other countries.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal that these other countries are stepping up and giving Hollywood a run for their money. We have best performance by female actor, Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love, Julia Roberts for After the Hunt, Tessa Thompson for Hedda. The other ones were Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, and then we've got a couple of the ladies, Eva Victor for Sorry Baby, and Renate Resevenu from Sentimental Value. Best performance by a male actor. Now this is interesting. Dwayne Johnson for The Smashing Machine. I believe this might be his first nomination, his first Golden Globe nomination.
Huh.
I'll generally see anything with Dwayne Johnson in it. I like Dwayne Johnson a lot, and this is one of the first times he's getting true, like for reals, critical acclaim for a role that he's played. He's in the Smashing Machine. He
That
plays,
wrestling movie?
No, it's the Octagon. It's Full Contact Fighting.
Oh.
So he plays a guy, like a really well-known guy. I don't know. I can't remember what the guy's name is. But, I mean, Dwayne Johnson's under a lot of makeup, too. There's a lot of prosthetics and change his face, and a really good thing. Looks really good. Jeremy Allen White for Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams. Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Oscar Isaac for Frankenstein. And Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent.
So,
all standout.
I want to see the Springsteen movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see the Neil Diamond movie that Hugh Jackman.
Well, it's not about Neil Diamond. It's about a guy who becomes a Neil Diamond impersonator.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
I thought it was actually like he was doing Neil Diamond.
No, he plays a Neil Diamond impersonator, and it's about these two people that start putting on a Neil Diamond like show in the early 80s.
I don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's when Neil Diamond was really, really massive, at the time. So, and I guess how it changes their lives, Performance of female in a motion picture musical comedy. Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee. Chase Infinity. Cynthia Erivo for Wicked for Good. Emma Stone Begonia. Kate Hudson, Song Sung Blue. That's the name you're thinking of, the movie you're thinking of. And Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Best performance for a male actor in a motion picture. Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon. George Clooney for Jake Kelly. Now, Jake Kelly is this new Netflix film that also has Adam Sandler in it and who's gotten supporting. He got nominated for a supporting role in that movie. It's interesting how some of these movies can be one of those ones where you didn't expect somebody to get nominated for it, such as Adam Sandler getting a Golden Globe nomination for Best Supporting Actor. It also goes to show, like, hey, Sandler's a good actor.
Yes.
He's a really good actor. He just sometimes makes real goofy fucking movies.
He can be really goofy, but
yeah. We've got
when he writes it, it's a goofball movie.
Usually.
Yeah.
But he can, if somebody else writes it, although I believe he co-wrote Uncut Gems. So I don't know. DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme. Female actor in a supporting role, Amy Madigan for Weapons, Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good, Ellie Fanning for Sentimental Value.
Heard good things about Weapons, too.
What's that?
I've heard good things about Weapons.
I've heard really good things, considering it's also a horror film.
Yeah.
Because it's a supporting role in any motion picture. Mm-hmm. I mean, horror films generally don't get the attention that a lot of them, they truly deserve. And I hear Weapons really does deserve it. Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. Emily Blunt, Smashing Machine. Inga Eidsdatter Linnaeus is for Sentimental Value. I'm not going to go over. I'm almost done here. Golden Globes, Best Performance for Male Actor in Supporting Role. We have Adam Sandler for Kelly Benicio for One Battle After Another. Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. I think Jacob Elordi, if he doesn't get this, if he doesn't get it, it's probably because he's young. But his role as the monster in Frankenstein, amazing. Chef's kiss. Perfect. He was so good in that.
He was really good.
He was really special. Sean Penn, One Battle After Another. Paul Mescal for Hamnet, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. All of these excellent candidates. The best director, Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein, Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another, Ryan Coogler for Sinners. So it's like, it was just an accident and Sentimental Value, the directors for them too. It's interesting that, quite often when a movie is good, everybody else is good in it too. So we see a lot of the same nominations going across. Screenplay, original score, original song. Let's do the original song. The new Avatar film, Dream is One. That's Miley Cyrus doing that. Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. I Lied to You from Sinners. No Place Like Home from Wicked. The Girl in the Bubble from Wicked. And Train Dreams from Train Dreams. Those are the best motion pictures. Speaking of Avatar, the third Avatar film opened to $345 million worldwide. I've seen I saw the original Avatar. I haven't seen the second one yet. I heard it was
the original.
Okay.
I don't need to see any of the other.
Yeah. I've heard this third one is actually probably, I've heard a lot of people say the best of the three so far. I will probably see it. I'll probably add it to my collection because I have the first two. I actually, like I said, I bought it, but I haven't seen the second one. Everybody keeps saying at the very least they are gorgeous films, and that is true. I
don't need to watch it for pretty pictures.
Sure. You cannot debate that they are beautiful movies, and that for each one they fine-tune the special effects and the mocapping even more. Really impressive work. That being said, yes, the story is not particularly deep, but
Unobtainium.
Unobtainium. It was really bad. They could have come up with a better name, really. This was an interesting thing. So now, I think like either it was like last year or the year before, they introduced a new thing. It was called the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award, and it is always for a movie that just did very well. Like overall, it's like this movie just was really well received from the critics. It made a lot of money. It was at the box. People loved it. And there's 8 of them. Avatar, Fire and Ash. Interestingly enough, nominated before it came out. F1, K-Pop Demon Hunters, Mission Impossible.
I do want to see F1.
Yeah. Sinners, Weapons, Wicked for Good, and Zootopia 2. Several of these, I believe, got nominated before they actually even were released. So, I don't know. The rest is TV stuff. We can go over maybe the TV stuff another time because it is getting late. But the movies, I'm not upset about a lot of these nominations. I think, and I do like the fact, even though I'm not as big a fan of watching films that aren't in English, because I just watching the
I hate
reading the
reading. Yeah,
subtitles.
I hate reading my movies.
I feel like I'm missing stuff. You know, if
Yeah,
I'm paying attention to reading it,
I read too slow.
I don't, but
I'm always looking at the bottom of the screen instead of watching the actual film.
Exactly. That's what I feel. I feel like I'm paying more attention to what I'm reading than what's going on the screen, and that's where I feel like I'm losing stuff. I'm almost prefer a dubbing version, but then a lot of people are like, "Yeah, the dubbing version kind of is never as good," you know. Um, but I am looking forward to seeing who wins and what's going to happen. I'm also looking forward to some of these like things like seeing some of these shows and stuff get get the attention they deserve, and particularly The Pit. I sat down and Stella and I watched the first two episodes of The Pit of season one of The Pit the other night, and again, just reminded how amazingly good that show is. And the new season starts the first week, I believe, January 8th.
January 8th. Yep. I think one of the biggest things with The Pit for me is there's no background music. And it's just the sounds of the ER, and that by itself increases tension.
Yes. Yeah, agreed. It was really, really incredible.
Yep.
So yeah. I don't know, we're gonna probably wrap things up.
We should wrap things up.
Let's see if there's anything real quick before we go. See, most of this stuff can all be, this is like little things.
Oh, one last thing real quick before we go, because I didn't mention this. Strange New Worlds has cast Bones and Sulu. Now, they won't show up until the very last episode of the series. So the last episode of season 5 is when they show up. But the guy that's playing Sulu is a new actor. It's Kai Murakami.
Okay.
I didn't even find him on IMDb, so I think he's brand new.
Cool.
And McCoy is going to be played by Thomas Jane.
See, that's pretty great. I like Thomas Jane. I think that's a great pick for Bones. I think that's really great. Now, personally, I really, really hope that we see a continuation of Star Trek with those characters.
So
with
that's
young
the thing.
Kirk.
There's been a I was reading about this too, that there's been basically a push to, once Strange New Worlds is done, to do Star Trek Year One, and to do the first year of that new crew with all the same actors playing Kirk, Spock, Uhura, McCoy, Sulu.
See, I was of
Chapel.
the understanding
and
that it wouldn't be year one. It would be
Scotty.
year 4.
No, they're saying year one is what they want to do.
Okay, because we do see. I mean, in the original series, we do see Kirk, who's obviously
it is a reboot. CD.
Yeah, we would see. In the original series, Kirk has obviously been the captain of the Enterprise for at least a time, for a while.
No, the original series starts with him taking over. The pilot episode.
Well, the pilot episode is got Pike, and a lot of people consider the pilot episode to not be quite.
Everything I've read says that this. So I'm not one that I've never really watched the original series, but everything that I've read, especially about this, says that really this series, the Strange New Worlds, will end
right
at the beginning of the original series.
Well, what I mean is if you watch the original series, you don't see Kirk like, I'm a young captain, I'm a new captain, and you don't see him like, I'm taking over the Enterprise. You don't see him, they did the pilot, the studio didn't like, they were like, okay, these are our notes, you got to make some changes, and so that they made some changes, and then the first episode has the next episode after that is Kirk is the Enterprise captain. You don't see a transition. You don't see him getting used to being the captain. You don't see him like he's established. He's the captain. It feels more like, okay, this is a guy that's been the captain for a while. He's not we're not seeing him grow into the seat. So it would be interesting to see maybe the first 6 months of him, or maybe a first season of a new show of him getting used to being the captain, him developing his relationship with, Uhura and Bones and Scotty and whoever else, even though we have established, Kirk is a presence. He does know Spock. He does know some of these other characters from being on the Enterprise from time to time, from his brother being on the Enterprise, that kind of thing. So they have established Kirk in Strange New Worlds as an entity, but we don't really in the original series we didn't see him developing that relationship. At least, I mean, I always felt like, it always just seemed like, okay, he is the captain. It is established. He knows, we know, there is a chain of command, whatever. So yeah, it would be interesting. I had read originally that their original idea was to do Star Trek, because it's supposed to be a 5-year mission.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh well, each season is a year, but the original show only went 3 years. They'll do seasons 4 and basically years 4 and 5 in their 5-year mission, and which I think would be really cool. But the way you're saying it, I would love to see Kirk take over the Enterprise and, be the new captain and see him grow into that role as captain.
What they're saying, though, is that with all the uncertainty right now at Paramount, because there's a lot of uncertainty on what's going on, we're getting 2 more seasons of Strange New Worlds, 4 and
Correct.
5. And we're getting 2 seasons of Starfleet Academy.
So far. Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, there is nothing on the docket beyond that for Star Trek.
Right.
And
no, I did read that they are interested in continuing and growing Star Trek. That they are interested to continue, that the new Paramount, the new people, since, Skydance bought Paramount,
mm-hmm.
they are still interested in going forward with developing Star Trek and further. But you're right. They don't have anything set on the books yet, particularly if they're going to try and buy Warner Brothers. So, but they have to keep making shit.
Yeah. Well, but we'll see. They may not feel that Star Trek is the way to go with this new.
I don't think that's the case. I think they'll definitely. It is still up. Star Trek is still before we get into a fucking long rant, Star Trek is still a well-established fan base, and it does make money. It's just a matter of you just got to do it.
I agree with you. I don't think that the bigwigs in the studios always see that.
Well, we'll see. See, like I said, I read somewhere that they are interested in continuing on with Star Trek and making sure that Star Trek still has a place on Paramount Plus. We'll see.
Yeah, because we're only 3 weeks away from Starfleet Academy.
Oh yeah, and I got to say, the more I'm seeing of it, the more it looks good. The more I'm liking what I'm seeing. I think Paul Giamatti is going to be really great. I love that Robert Picardo is back as the Doctor.
I think that's kind of dumb, but okay.
As the Doctor, you don't like Robert Picardo back?
No, because it's too far it's 900 fucking years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I understand he's a hologram, but I just don't buy it. It's like, okay, no, you don't need to bring him back.
I think it's stunt casting.
I think it is
it's
too.
Something that they're like, oh, this should be interesting. He is one of the few characters that could still be alive.
I'm curious to see. I'm sure they're going to do the old trope of, well, it's 900 years later. I figured I should look a little older, because that's
more than likely probably what they're going to do. Yeah. So, or some kind of thing for it. So, yeah. Last but surely not least, guys, the new trailer for the Avengers Doomsday trailer is out. It is
we'll talk about it next
teaser.
week because I haven't watched it yet.
We'll talk about it next week. but check it out. Guys, thanks for joining us tonight on this oh so lovely, relatively warm for December.
Yeah, we didn't actually talk about the
Tuesday.
weather, which is fine, but yeah,
Really
it was spring-like.
Spring-like today, yeah. Particularly considering how cold it's been the last couple of days. It's gonna go back. We're in the seesaw, the winter seesaw. But thanks for joining us tonight,
Yeah,
guys.
last I saw, though, Christmas was like 45 and rain.
Yeah, I know, it's fucking fucked up. We will be back next Tuesday, right?
Yes, next Tuesday we should be back.
We are not gaming this Friday. We will be gaming
on the 2nd.
On the 2nd, correct. So yes, the last week we had was the last game session of the year.
Yep.
We will be back on the 2nd.
Which you missed.
Back,
yep.
Which I missed. I had to miss, unfortunately, because of work.
Which, by the way, it's up on the recap is up on World Anvil if you haven't joined World Anvil yet.
I gotta do that. Can you just like send me a link or something?
I'll send you the link again. Yeah.
Yeah, send me the link again. I gotta do that again.
I'll do it right now.
And I will figure that out because I need to get caught up on the on what happened. We did hit second level. I was not there for it, unfortunately, but we did hit second level, and I'm really excited to get back into it. I miss it. It was killing me to miss so much because of work. So, but yeah,
I didn't realize our Twitch. I don't remember setting this up. Our Twitch feed for it is actually up on World Anvil. Like our show tonight is up there on World Anvil.
Really?
Right now. Yeah, it's Twitch. It's I forgot. I don't remember putting that on there, but that's cool.
By the way, your character died and they looted your body. There's nothing to loot. Nothing to loot. He doesn't have much.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll figure out how to get you the invite, and I'll get it sent back over to you. So
they reboot. I will riot if they reboot STNG. I don't think they'll ever reboot STNG. It'll be years before they ever do something like that, CD. But yeah, I'm always excited for new Star Trek and where they're going to go and what they're going to do. So, but again, thanks again, guys. Like I said, we'll be back on Tuesday. We'll be back gaming. Riot, I say. We will be back gaming on the 2nd. Guys, have a great holiday. Have a great Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, have a great. We'll see you next week before the new year. But really, be safe out there. Drive safe. The roads are crazy. Don't let the man get you down. All those other cliches. And just have a great Christmas.
Yeah.
You know?
And remember, you can follow us on most of the social medias. We're on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show. Everywhere else, just look for Drinking Nerds. Remember, like, subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. Like the videos. It really does help us with algorithms and stuff. If you're watching us on Twitch, if you can, subscribe. You get access to our Discord, which we're pretty active in.
Yep.
But yeah, hang out with us every week. And we're like, we obviously, talk to people in the chat. So, if you want, hang out with us in it's every week, 8:00 here on Twitch. So I think, that's going to about do it.
That should do it.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yes. Happy holidays.
And, yeah. So, what is it? I'm blanking on everything now. That should about do it. Until next time.
Slainte.
All right. Have a good week, everybody.
Good night.